What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, dudes who bet daily. We got the brooms in the background after the sweep yesterday. Been on a nice little run here, back up for the year, which has been a little struggle of ours. But it's nice to get back into the positives. Aaron, nice little plus 155 yesterday with the Stars. I was interested to see if you go back to him today.
Yeah, it's interesting how sometimes your best bet, you'll pick it and they're down 3-0 before you blink an eye. It's like, what the hell? But that was the total opposite yesterday. The Stars never really looked like they weren't going to win by more than one, and so that was fun. And Papa Dude, yours was never really in doubt either. Somich, you were in doubt for a long time until you weren't, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was like, damn, they're getting blown out, the Bulls, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that was an easy cover.
Yeah, spoiler alert, Bulls plus 5.5 probably going to be my best bet tomorrow. I don't know if you've looked at their team in the last month or so. They've got wins over Minnesota, the Lakers. They beat Houston. They beat Denver. They've beaten the Sixers. I mean, they haven't lost to a non-playoff team in over a month and have played significantly better defense over that stretch as well. So I think this Bulls team's kind of underrated right now.
Yep, no doubt. I was watching that game. I was like, oh man, they just are playing horrible. They couldn't make a shot though. Once the shots started falling, no troubles at all. They were stopping, the other team, but they just couldn't score. But once they finally did, yeah, it was nice. So good pick there. And how about it, Papa Dude? The Thunder. I told y'all.
Yes, you did.
And they did it.
And I stayed up and watched it. And I tell you what, they're pretty good. They really are. They're fun to watch. They can shoot it. They play hard. Alexander's a star.
They're doing it without a big man either right now. I played. I can't remember the guy's name now. The big man for over rebounds. He was 11.5 yesterday in that game for the Pelicans. Giannis. I can't remember his name anyway.
I can see him.
He had 12 rebounds at half. They have no one underneath the basket that can rebound the ball. It'll be interesting to see what the totals for Gobert and for Towns are tomorrow, because that could be another spot where you can play over rebounds for a OKC team that can't rebound the ball, but it's a ton of fun to watch. I can't wait for them to get Chet next year and see how he fits into the mix.
Oh man, yeah. If he meshes with the rest of them, and there's no telling what they're going to do in the draft. They've got a lot of options there. I could see them busting into the top 4 in the West. Really, I compare them to Sacramento. They could be next year's Sacramento. We'll have to see how they play with the pressure on them a little bit. It's going to be on them some next year. Everything they do this year is just, oh God, this is wonderful. And I think they can beat Minnesota. I'll probably pick them tomorrow night, and that'll be the end of it.
Should be a fun game. I watched that whole game yesterday as well. Look, the Pelicans too, another team where they underachieved this year. They started out great, had a tough middle stretch, played well toward the end. They're another team that could be a ton of fun to watch. The Zion thing is just a real problem with that. I mean, if he was in that lineup, that would be a great team in the Western Conference. And without him, they're still very, very good. And Ingram looked phenomenal again last night. He and Shea put on a show in the fourth quarter specifically. But it'll be fun to see how they progress this year as well. Today, a little tougher, though. We all talked about it, how you don't have the NBA games today. The hockey games are tough because you don't have any of these teams that are really in contention anymore. There's only a couple games that matter on today's slate, so it's hard to really decide how you want to play those games. We're going to start out with two that do matter quite a bit, though. We'll start out with the Hurricanes going into Florida. Panthers minus 115. Hurricanes and Devils battling for the first spot in the division. The Panthers trying to avoid playing the Bruins, which is something that's very important to do in the first round here. I thought this game was really interesting. I was surprised the Panthers were a favorite. What about you, Aaron?
That's why I went Carolina, because I was surprised that Carolina was the underdog. But it isn't any kind of situation where I'm like, well, I really love one team or another. I'm playing an odds here to saying, hey, I think the Hurricanes should be a small favorite. Instead, they're a small underdog. I'll take a shot. This is a 50-50 game because, like you said, it matters big time for both teams. And you don't want to play Boston first. But, you don't want to finish second in the division either if you're Carolina. So I don't know what's going to happen tonight, to be completely honest. I took the Hurricanes, thought the plus money was the play.
Yeah, I took the Hurricanes here as well. I agree with Aaron. I think this game should be Hurricanes like minus 125-ish, somewhere like that. So I think you're getting about 20 cents of value here on the Hurricanes who need to win this game. They need to win this division. It's important for them. The Devils, we're going to talk about them next, have a easier game to play. Also on the road, though, but an easier opponent. So you would expect the Devils are going to be able to get at least 1, maybe 2 points. They hold the tiebreaker, which means the Hurricanes need to win to be able to win the division. Papa Dude, what are you doing here?
I went with the Hurricanes as well, so we make it a sweep. I like the under a little bit too. I can see this being 3-2. I think this will be a close to the vest type playoff game. And I think it'll be played like it's a playoff game because both teams have so much to gain by winning. And I'm with you. If the Hurricanes lose, I think they're going to finish second in the division after being first all year long.
Well, spoiler alert then. I bet Papadou taking the Devils here, laying 176, going into Washington to take on a Capitals team that really underachieved this year. A lot of issues. Once Ovechkin left the team for a while for the issues that he had with his father passing away, unfortunately, in Russia. Total sitting at 6.5 here. Papadou, you going Devils?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. They're one of these teams, I was sitting around thinking to myself about the playoffs, and you just totally forget them, or I do. You just forget it. They're just one of those teams. To be honest, I don't think I could name 3 guys that play on their team. Yet there they are just about to win a very difficult division. This is a good hockey team. Yes, they're going to close them out tonight and put all the pressure on Carolina. I guess the games are at the same time, probably.
Yeah, they're both 4:05 starts here on the West Coast, 7:05 starts on the East Coast. I don't hate laying a goal and a half here with the Devils if you want to do that and take some plus money. I think the Devils are going to win here. The comp to the Devils is the Kings to me, Papa Dude. I can't name 5 players on the Kings.
Yeah.
And yet here we are, and they're right there as well. It's these young teams that play good system hockey, can put the puck in the net. They're just not talked about very often.
No.
Aaron, where are you going with this one?
I almost took the Devils minus a goal and a half for my best bet. So I'm with you on that. You mentioned you'd take the minus goal and a half. It makes sense. It's not really a team that blows other teams out, but this is a situation where they got everything to play for. Capitals don't have much to play for at all. And I got to ask you, what's it like game starting at 4:05 where you live? How, is that weird or is it good?
It's phenomenal. It's wonderful because sports start earlier, which is great. And I got to say, like, one of my proudest dad moments. So that Edmonton, Colorado game, I'm sitting on the couch, I'm watching it, and my daughter is watching one of her shows on Disney Plus. She stopped watching Disney Plus show to watch Edmonton, Colorado. And then this morning before going to school, she goes, Dada, can we watch a hockey game tonight? I'm like, yes, we can. We're going to find one, baby. Yep. So
you are doing it right.
There. She's like, I love hockey, Dad. It's fun. So I'm excited to be able to watch hockey games with a 4.5-year-old daughter. That was a surprise because she does no interest in football, no interest in basketball, but one hockey game, and she is so I'm excited to watch a game tonight with her, which is proud dad moment since that's my favorite sport as well. All right, let's head over to baseball. Early start here, Red Sox and the Rays, Kluber versus Springs. This is going to be a good one here. The Rays 12-0, record for best start in baseball history, 13-0, been done twice. So the Rays trying to tie that today, going 13-0 to start the season. Jeffrey Springer's on the mound here for the Rays. It was 200-1 to win the Cy Young at the start of the season. He is now 19-1 after 2 starts. He has been phenomenal for them. You got Kluber, who's on the mound for the Red Sox, who is not the same pitcher that he was back in the day at Cleveland. Aaron, what are you going to do with this one?
It's funny. We talked about this for a second on the show yesterday, Samo, and because people were trying to fade Tampa, thinking, well, law of averages, and then they win again. To go 13-0 and be one of 3 teams to ever do it, and nobody would have picked the Rays to be that team to go 13-0 to start this season. And of course, like you said, with the Cy Young, 19-1 for the guy that's a Cy Young, it's incredible, and it's beginning to be extremely entertaining to kind of follow this team. Listen, Doc Tang told me to go under the total, so we're going to do that. Never question a doctor. I've learned that during my time here. I'll take the Rays. I'll take the Rays and take the under and have a lot of fun watching this unlikely team here at 12-0.
I was trying to find a way to bet the Rays today, and you really can't because of the way that we structure the show and the kind of how our bets are. Minus 250, obviously way too high. They're minus 1.5. I'm not a big fan of laying a 1.5 with home teams. You losing at bat. The first 5 innings, minus a half runs, minus 170. That's a little bit too high for me as well in that front. I'm going to play Kluber under 3.5 strikeouts. He is not a guy who strikes people out like he used to when he was in Cleveland. We're 5 years removed from that. Last year, he was not very good. He's bounced around all over the place since those days in Cleveland when he was a Cy Young candidate. The Tampa Bay Rays have the least amount of strikeouts in the Major League Baseball. I don't think Kluber's going to be able to get 4 today. So I took under 3.5 strikeouts for Kluber, plus 115. I would like the under if I didn't like the Rays offense so much. They might put up 9 on their own, and that is my biggest fear against this Boston team, which Kluber not very good, the bullpen not great. The Rays scare me alone going over the total, although I agree the Red Sox are probably not going to produce too many runs today. Papa Dude, what are you doing here?
Well, it's interesting you say that about the Rays. Yesterday, when we were trying to beat the Rays, and yesterday we thought the day might be because the Rays had called up a pitcher that had been in the minors the night before. So we knew he wasn't going to go very long. The problem was Boston had Chris Sale going, and he can't get anybody out right now. So the issue was, do we take the Rays knowing that their pitching is not going to be very good, but they're probably going to score more runs than the Red Sox, and the game ended up 9-7. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what you're looking at here on this under, too. The Rays are really hitting the ball very well, and they're going to hit Kluber, I think. But Dr. Tang's figuring Boston's not going to score very much. So I like your pick there, Mike. I can't go against the Rays today. I think they're going to get to 13-0.
I am a firm believer in baseball momentum because you play every day and because the vibe in the clubhouse matters so much.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have these teams that start to go on runs. I mean, I remember the A's winning, 21 in a row, 22 in a row, something like that a few years back. When you start winning, it's contagious and everyone's having a great time. And like I said, the vibes are good and everyone's excited and you think you can win every single game no matter what the score is. Baseball is a momentum sport, and because you play every day, it's so much easier to continue it or to have it knocked off or to continue that positive or negative momentum either way. I'm not fading the Rays for a while. I love these people who try and catch the falling knife. And like, I'm going to take the team that is against the team that's won 12 in a row. I would much rather take the team winning consistently than going the opposite way. Do you agree with that one, Aaron?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. You know, they play a 3-game set in Toronto after this. I think that's going to be a spot where they're probably going to lose. I'm with you. Now it's like, okay, now we could tie the record. I just think they're super focused for this game. I don't think they're losing to Boston today. Now, again, go to Toronto. Could be a different story coming up over the weekend.
Yeah, much more difficult park to play in, much better offense as well. Pedlo mentioning the Rays team total. The first 5 innings Rays team total is over 2.5 or 2.5. I kind of like the over there. I think they get to them early, at least get 3 runs up in the first 5 innings. I'm not as big of a fan of playing team totals for home teams that I think are going to win the game because, again, you get 8 at-bats versus 9. So it's harder to get over those 4.5, 5 team totals for the full game. So if I play the team total, I would look at the first 5 here going over 2.5. All right, let's head over to San Diego. The Brewers headed in to take on the Padres. We don't know who's starting for the Brewers yet. Padres minus 155, total sitting at 9. Pop, dude, what'd you do with this one?
Well, when you don't know who the starting pitcher is, you go with the other team. So the other team's pitcher is not bad. So I went with the Padres today. We talked about the Padres yesterday. Man, their early schedule has been brutal. Now they get to play the Brewers. They've played the Dodgers. They've played the Mets on the road. They played the Braves on the road. And now they come back and play the best team in the Central Division for the moment, the Brewers. So they've had a difficult schedule and they've survived it. And I think that shows San Diego is going to be pretty good. So I like the Padres today.
Yeah, their bats need to get going. They struggled early, but they faced pretty good pitchers when they did struggle. So I agree with you, Pop. I think this Brewers team is the right side. I looked at the first 5 minus a half run. I think you can get it minus 105 right now. So I have not played this one yet. It's a later start. I want to see who the Brewers actually start and see if it ends up being a bullpen game or if they're going to try and have someone go out there and throw 5-6 innings. But I think the Padres is the right size, just figuring out how to bet it. Aaron, what'd you do with this one?
Yeah, same. I like the Padres. And yeah, again, another team we talked about yesterday, Papa Dude, like you said. I mean, my goodness, they're playing some tough teams so far. So you look at it, and we were very high on the Padres. I know you for sure, Somich, were high on them to start the season. They're 7-6. You might go, well, they're not playing very good. Well, they've played a much better schedule than a lot of these teams. So I'm going to go Padres today as well. I think they get it done. And, you know, once that schedule kind of lightens up a little bit, I look for them to get on a little bit of a roll. You know, 7-6, if you're playing really good teams in baseball, that ain't bad. So I still like the Padres today.
Let's head out to New York. We got the Twinkies headed into New York to take on the Yankees. Yankees minus 150, total sitting here at 8.5. I know Papa Dude and Aaron, you both looked at this game. So Papa Dude, I'll let you start out. What'd you like here?
I like the under a lot in this one. 2 good pitchers going. The Twins are pretty good too. Their pitching staff has been really tough in the early going. I don't have the pitchers in front of me. You probably do, Mike, but I know they're both good because that was one of the things I looked at right off the bat today. I think this could be a low-scoring game. So I like the under in the Twins-Yankees tonight.
Aaron, I know you agree with that one.
Yeah, I do like the under. I looked at that one, almost made it the best bet, but I had to go to something else. No spoilers yet, though. I'll tell you when the best bet time comes. But yeah, I do like the under. I follow this Yankees team a lot because of my family up in New York. Big fans of the Yankees. And Brito, however you say his name there, he's been very good. He's a very good, solid pitcher there. They're at home, coming off a nice series. I think the Yankees get the job done, and I do think it goes under. I think it's going to be a really good series, though. Twins are off to a good start this year as well. Both teams 8-4 coming into this.
Yeah, I'm gonna buck the trend a little bit here. I'm not going to disagree with the unders, but I am going to take the Twins plus the 130 here. Brito has been very good starting out, 25-year-old pitcher, but he has faced He's faced Baltimore and San Francisco, two offenses that don't necessarily light it up. I think this is a much tougher test. You got Ryan on the hill for the Twins. I think he's a solid starter. I'll take the plus money with the Twins here because I think you have a slight edge from a starting pitching perspective. And this is the toughest lineup Brito's going to face so far this season. I don't really have a lean on the total, but you guys both on the under. Give me the Twins at plus money. See what we can do there in some baseball. Let's head over to racing. Keeneland actually has a phenomenal card today. I don't know if you felt the same way, Aaron. Yeah. Really tough races up and down. I found a couple horses that I'm interested in singling. One of them is going to be a short price on the turf. The other is going to be my best bet of the day. So we'll get into that one shortly. But let's start out here with race number 8. Really interesting turf race here. Aaron, what did you end up doing here?
Keeneland's been phenomenal. I'm totally with you. I've liked every card. I liked yesterday, even though they had 8 races. I thought, well, shit, these races are pretty darn good. Yeah, the 8th race today, very good as well. Man, it's just nice having Keeneland. Keeneland feels like Wrigley Field to me. I mean, this feels like this is a staple of racing. So in the 8th race here, I went number 1 Verbal on top. This horse last time out came off of a layoff in the Tampa Bay Stakes. Got beat by Emmanuel, a horse that is going to be the second choice in tomorrow's race. I bet we talk about that race tomorrow. The Maker's Mark got beat by Win From Within, a good horse. Got beat by Golden Alchemist. So 3 really good horses got beat by in that spot. Now we're in an allowance race. Not that that's an easy allowance race. It's not. But I do think Verbal is the best horse out of the ones here. And I think second off the layoff, this horse is going to improve. And oh, by the way, IRAD jumps aboard today. I think that was the trifecta that makes me go, okay, I'll take Verbal. So I'll go with the chalk in this spot. I'll go number 1 Verbal.
There's a lot to like about Verbal here. I haven't picked second. I don't hate the pick at all. Going to be your morning line. You're going to be your favorite. Is the morning line favorite at 5-2. I didn't see a ton of speed in here. So I went with the 7 Strong Quality, who I thought had a really sneaky good race last time out. It was the first time trying the turf, broke from the 7 post at Gulfstream Park going 7.5 furlongs. Was able to essentially kind of was swung a little bit wide the first turf, but it settled in the backstretch, made a nice move and got up. They thought very highly of this horse. If you look where Cassie started this horse, he doesn't generally start horses at fairgrounds and then they'll send him to Saratoga, Churchill, Keeneland. This horse has very good numbers on the dirt. That first turf effort was a solid number. If he can take a step forward, I think he has a pace edge. I like the price, and second time on turf, going 2 turns, I think is going to be beneficial for Strong Quality as well. So I'll go with the 7 horse at 9-2 here, a little bit of a speed play. Hopefully we can sit close to the pace or beyond the pace and be able to hold off horses who may be a little bit better than him and more experienced, but hopefully the pace edge makes the difference here. Papa Dude, where are you headed?
Well, I'm getting more and more like you every time. By the way, quick story. Went to Oakland last weekend. Okay. Every time I hit a single, I pick a single and he comes in. Okay. The next 2 horses in the sequence are 4-5 and 2-1. Every freaking time I do that. I specifically singled a horse called Red Knobs. I knew he was going to win.
Yeah.
Now when he went in the gate, he was 6-5, and I told my wife, I said, "Ooh, we're getting him at 6-5, man. I'll take that all day." Of course, when he came out of the gate, he was 1-5. You know how that works. But anyway, so I get it. So my wonderful pick 3 paid. I bet it was a $4.50 bet, and I got $4.55 back.
Profit. Nice ROI there, Papa Dude.
Do what?
Nice ROI.
Yeah, but anyway, I did hit the pick 4, and I got with the same thing because there was a long shot sort of came in there, and I made a whopping $52 on the pick 4, that's pretty good for me and Aaron. When we hit a pick 4, we have a profit, right, Aaron?
Right.
So anyway, when you said this thing, it kind of reminded me of that. Anyhow, I agree with you, Mike. I was looking for some speed, and you said there's not very much speed. There's only one speed that I found, and that is the 7. And if he can get out in front, I think he can win it. He's hit the board 8 out of 9 starts. I don't see a whole lot wrong with him. I love Aaron's pick also with verbal, so I think it's between the 7 and the 1. And I kind of like the 3, Creed, as well. So I'll go either one of the 1 and 7. You just take your choice and throw 3 in there and see if you can hit a trifecta.
Yeah, I didn't hate the 3 either. Price wise, I have the 5 horse here, Script, and the 11 Hidden Stash. I think both kind of fit. Script is a little interesting to me. You can tell Shook thought a lot of this horse when he sent him out to California, and then he wasn't quite able to run. I'm sorry, New Motion thought a lot of this horse. We sent him out to California. Wasn't quite able to run that well, but notice he's 1 for 1 over the Keeneland turf and now gelded. Aaron, did you look at the 5 or the 11 at all?
Yes, I had the 5 as the third choice here. I'm with you. Getting back to Keeneland, where this horse won last time, he was here, ran pretty well out in California in spots. Just couldn't quite get the job done lately. Just hasn't run very well. But first time gelding as well. That was interesting that they gelded this horse. And with the 11, another horse I thought about. The problem is, man, the 11 just struggles to win. Just cannot get up there to win. Usually runs well, though. I wouldn't be shocked if the 11 is kind of coming and on, and you're like, oh, maybe this is the day, and then gets third.
Yep. Yeah, the 11, like you said, doesn't like to win. That's the biggest problem there. But a nice horse underneath 8 to 1 on the morning line wouldn't be terrible to spice up the exotics there. All right, we swept yesterday. We're up for the year. Let's do it, baby. Best bet time. We'll start out. You know what? Let's stay at Keeneland. I'll start out with my best bet here. I'm going to go to race number 5. I'm taking a little bit of a shot here. 6 to 1 on the morning line. Give me the 10 horse Lupo's Legacy. This is second out for Darren Rodriguez. Only 52 starters on the year, but 16 of those have been winners, 31%. Last time out at Gulfstream, Irad picks up the mount. This horse is 4 to 1 and faces A La Carte and Mr. Peaks, a race that we talked about quite a bit heading into the Florida Derby. A La Carte, one of those mott horses, very high on. Go back and watch the replay. Had a ton of trouble at the break. Now we're getting second off the layoff, second time in this barn, second time out as a 4-year-old. I think Lupo's Legacy takes a big-time step forward. And when you look through this race, it's really just the 3 sidekick that you're worried about. It's going to be first-time Asmussen, Irad, 2 to 1. I'm willing to take a shot against that horse with a horse at 6 to 1 in the tempo. So give me the Lupo's Legacy, the 10 here at 6 to 1 on the morning line. Aaron, what'd you think of this one? I was interested to see if you were kind of high on it like I am.
Oh boy, I didn't use this horse on top. I do have the horse in second. I worry about the 3 a little bit. I think you mentioned that horse. I was talking to a Keeneland local, or a Lexington local, I should say, last week. He goes, it's so weird. This is the only place in the country where fading Steve Asmussen is a really good idea. And so Asmussen has the 3. And for whatever reason, Asmussen has just had no luck at Keeneland the last couple of years. He's just really struggled. So if you're going to take a shot against a favorite, it makes a lot of sense. Hey, Asmussen's had a couple favorites in this meet already, and they've ran like trash. Listen, I'm a fan of Asmussen, but they haven't ran very well. He does get Irad aboard this one. Maybe that's a good sign, but I don't hate you taking a shot here. I think you're going to get a decent price. I'm not sure 6 to 1, but I think you're going to get 4 or 5 to 1.
Yeah, I agree. I actually almost played a double into the 11, who I think has a very good shot at winning the next race on the turf as well. But I decided I'm not going to get greedy here. We're just going to take the 10 here because the 6 to 1 morning line price, pretty nice here. Asmussen also struggles at Saratoga. I will continually say that. He's better at Saratoga than he is at Keeneland.
Well, here's the difference. Though. In those 2-year-old maidens, he will unleash some big-time horses.
That's fair.
Here's the deal. His top horses will win at Saratoga. It's the horses like this that don't.
Yeah. And it's the boutique meets, right? Where everyone's shipping in to try and win, and you're coming from all these different places. It makes it so much more difficult to win as a trainer in those spots because everyone is targeting these meets, the Keeneland meet, the Saratoga meet, and somewhat the Oaklawn meet, but I don't think that's nearly as difficult for him because of the stock that he has there. He does have another interesting horse real quick, the 4-horse Saddle Up in the second race at Keeneland, 4.5 furlongs. This is a son of Munnings that was a homebred. Did you use this one? Because I was kind of interested in the 4 Saddle Up there.
I did use this one as well. Yeah, like I said, another Asmussen horse here. Listen, with these 2-year-old maidens, I think we all know it kind of starts with Wesley Ward, and then you build out from there. It's like, okay, is this a Wesley Ward single? is this the Wesley Ward where we'll use and play with a couple of other horses? And for me, it was we're going to use the Ward and we're going to play this 4 saddle up as well. I think this is an interesting horse for Asmussen. He doesn't throw a lot of horses into these real early 2-year-old races, but when he does, they usually can run. So I think the 4 is pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Maker and Asmussen both show up in that race with these very, very young 2-year-olds, because that is not something either of them are known to do often, or generally, I can't say they don't do it well, because we just don't see them run those horses that much. So interesting to see them both have one here at Keeneland today in this the early 2-year-old races. All right, Papa Dude, let's head to you. Let's head back to that money line parlay we cashed yesterday. What do you got?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you guys. I think I'm going to Oakland. I'm almost sure I'm going this weekend. I'll see Stevie Joe, my best friend down there. Steve asked me, and I'll ask him, hey, Steve, what the hell's going on at Keeneland? My buddies want to know. And I'm sure he'll fill me in on that.
Yeah, just do a quick little interview on your phone.
Do what?
Do a quick little interview on your phone.
Okay. Yeah. I think he'll be there since Claire Ayer's running. I think he'll come down. He may stay in Keeneland. I'm not sure. Aaron, don't you think he'll probably be there?
I bet he's at Oakland.
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
anyway, all right.
He won't at Keeneland, so.
Yeah.
Well, he has disarmed.
He does.
Keeneland. I think it's 50-50.
I do too. Now that I think about it, why would you come down for, just one day?
Yeah.
You probably would stay at Keeneland. Now that I think about it. Anyway, back to the bet. I went with hockey last night. We came through, and I thought, well, why don't we go today? I was shocked we get plus money on this one. I had it at plus 120 early this morning, and by the time I decided to bet it, it had already gone to 108, and I bet it's even going to go down more. You got 2 teams that absolutely have to win tonight. You have to win. The Stars are playing the Blues. Why in the world would the Blues even show up in this game? They have absolutely nothing to play for. So the tricky one is the Avs playing a Jets team that's playing really well. But the game is in Colorado, and it's a game they need to win too. They're battling it out with Dallas for the first spot in the Central, and that's very important. And both these teams need to win. If Dallas wins, they'll be 1 point ahead of the Avs, but the Avs have 1 game to go, and Dallas is finished. So this is going to go down to the wire. I like both of these teams a lot. We're getting plus money. I think we're going to hit this one. So I like the Stars, Avs, money line parlay at plus 108 tonight.
Yeah, the Avs injury report, something to watch. They were missing 5 starters against
Really?
Yeah, the Makar is day-to-day right now, or Lekkonen's day-to-day. Makar is questionable for tonight. We'll see if Makar is able to come back, if Lettonen's able to come back. When they are healthy, they are just dominant. It's the health part. They have actually the 2nd most missed games in the NHL due to injury so far this year. Still no word on their captain Landeskog as well, who's trying to get back. He was skating. We'll see if he's actually able to play come playoff time. Aaron, let's jump over to you. Best bet of the day.
Well, I'm going to go with the Cardinals, but not with a win. So I think we're okay. I'm going to go Cardinals, Pirates over 8.5 runs today. Look, the Cardinals' biggest problem has been pitching. It's been bad. They're hitting the ball just fine. I think they're going to score some runs today, getting home against the Pirates. I think Pirates will get some runs as well. And listen, this Pirates team has started off pretty decent, actually. I don't know if you guys have noticed. They're 7-5, so look out. The Pittsburgh Pirates, one of the worst franchises in all of sports as far as winning goes. But listen, I think it'll be a good game tonight. I think the Cardinals are going to get 6 or 7 runs. I think the Pirates will get enough to put this thing over. So give me the Cardinals, Pirates over 8.5 runs.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I've got to feel bad for the Pirates. They start out well, and O'Neal Cruz down with an ankle injury. He busted his ankle. It's going to be a couple months before we see him again. One of the most exciting players in baseball. Been called the Giannis Antetokounmpo of baseball. A 6'7" shortstop who can absolutely light the ball up. It should be a fun one. Hopefully we can get the cards right. I know that's been a struggle for us for the entire history of the show, which is almost a year old now, which is shocking in and of itself. All right, let's go over the best bets before we sign off for the day here. Aaron, Pirates cards over 8.5. Give me race number 5 at Keeneland, horse number 10, Lupo's Legacy, 6-1 on the morning line. Papa Dude, Avs and Stars, morning line parlay, plus 108, 3-0 for the week. Up 365, up 364 for the year. Back in the positives. It's been a freaking grind. Hopefully we can just run it up now. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll be back all week. Monster Racing Week again. We talked about Keeneland. They've got a great card there on Saturday. Oakland, phenomenal card with the Apple Blossom as well. Didn't draw that big of a field, but should still be a lot of fun. Make sure you're checking out racingdudes.com. We got previews of all the stakes races coming up this weekend. I think Magic's going to be live Friday again for Keeneland. I bet we'll be live Saturday again for Keeneland as well. So make sure you check that out. We'll have Dudes Who Bet Daily every day this week, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Good luck with all your bets today. We will see you all tomorrow.